Tinkle toes. Tinkle toes. Take.
Open it.
I throw something at her.
Open the bag.
I feel like I need to move it now.
Yeah, I don't have anything to throw at the cat. La 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 la. I'm by myself on the recording. It's just me. It would be weird if I had to do this by myself. I would not like it. If I had to do this all alone.
How are you doing today?
Well, better today than last week. So
Good.
Yep.
What was last week?
Last week was just like annoying people all over the place.
Oh yeah, we had a rant in our after pie session, which is a Patreon perk. By the way.
Boop.
Anyway, welcome to this week's episode of Jess and Hits Make a Podcast.
Hi.
Hi.
We
should never introduce our
podcast. I feel like we should, but then I'm also like, you found us, so thank you. Thank you for
You're
finding
here.
us. You know what you're listening to.
Yeah.
But maybe
I'm also like we need like a catchy opening spiel, but also no.
Hi, Jess. What would you like to make today?
What would I like to make?
A podcast.
A podcast. Oh, right, because that is the name of our podcast. I get it.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, man. So
I'm kind of like riding this little. So today at work, the annoying person came in, and that like the inappropriately annoying person.
Mm-hmm.
And I just like
it's an old man.
It's an old man.
We'll let you extrapolate from that.
It's an annoying old man who has to tell you all his woes and then demand special services and try to hold your hand while he does this.
Yeah.
But I just
special
like
services in regards to dry cleaning.
Oh yeah, sorry. Well,
like early service or discounts.
Do it
or
right
whatever.
now. Discount it for me. Have it ready in 20 minutes when our turnaround is a week.
Yeah. Anyway, he came in today,
and I just was like, "Oh, hi, here's your stuff." Da 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 da. And he was like, started on his little, "I just had all this. I'm a terrible.
surgery.
Life is horrible." And I'm like, "Oh, okay. What's your phone number? Okay. Have a good day. Bye." And I think it was such a whirlwind. He was like, he just kind of staggered out in shock.
Yeah.
Like I was like, "Yeah, I don't have time for creepy old men. I just don't.
Yeah.
Don't be a creepy old man."
Yeah. And it sucks because a lot of customers come in and
you chat with them.
You chat with them because it's good customer service.
Yeah.
But then multiple times it has turned into every time they come in, they just want to chat. And then it turns into they're going to ask you out because every time they come in, you chat with them.
You're so nice and you smiled, so you must be flirting.
Yep.
Creepy old men.
Creepy. Yeah. Just don't. Like if you know that you have children that are my same age, I am speaking from experience, but like if you ask how old I am and I give you an answer, even though I really shouldn't, and you're like, "Oh, I have kids who are older than you anyway, want to go out?"
Ew.
Think about that.
Ew.
Just stop for a second and think about the words that are coming out of your mouth. Just don't.
Okay. Caveat. If you have billions of dollars.
No, this guy that did this to me pretended he had billions of dollars.
So
he would talk about a summer home that he had in Hawaii once, but then he would talk about like his ex-wife, multiple ex-wives, and how they like screwed him in the divorce or whatever.
Oh, they got all my money.
Now you live here and you ride a bike to the laundromat. Like don't try to pretend that you have money.
Ugh.
I don't care if you were an investment banker in California.
Apparently you weren't a good one.
Nope.
I mean, gross.
Because now you're here.
Don't be a creepy old man. Just don't. Don't be a creepy old anything.
Anyway. Rant over.
Oh man, that was an unintended rant. I'm sorry. Anyway, this other guy, I just kind of shut him down today. And it made me feel good because I felt like I was like,
just don't give him an opening.
And it just felt good. Anyway, we can move on into we can announce the winner of our scavenger hunt.
Yeah.
We had a scavenger hunt on our Patreon. It was open to the public, and we
ran it the whole month of April.
There were 100 items that all had point values. So like you could do all of them or some of them or whatever. We had
bonus points for signing up for the 5K that we did, and bonus points for a few other things.
Making us laugh.
Yeah, pretty much.
But we had a lot of really good submissions. And so shout out to everyone who joined us and submitted items. We had fun looking through them all.
Yeah.
Your creativity on some of them were really fun. And a couple of them I looked at and was like, I don't get this. And then I was like, oh, I do. Like one was find a pet rock. And someone took a picture of a person and said, my rock. And I was like zooming in and moving the picture all over. I was like, are they holding a rock? Are they standing up? And like, I was like, oh, my rock. That's so sweet.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, I love that. So yeah.
So it was a different interpretation of the
term rock.
Yeah.
So, and I just love that. That's, I think, is what's really fun about our little scavenger hunts is we leave it up to interpretation.
Yeah.
So yeah. So Kimberly, Tink is right here. She's licking the table. I don't know why.
I heard like the whole table was creaking or something, and I thought it was your chair.
It might just be my old bones creaking.
Anyway, I'm sorry. I totally talked over your announcement of the winner. I'm sorry, Kimberly.
Kimberly E. In
Congratulations.
Texas. Congratulations. We're getting your prize pack stuff together, and we'll get that mailed out soon.
Yay.
Congratulations.
We also have our medals. Speaking of the 5K, we have those in hand, and we will be assembling them, and because ribbons. We're putting ribbons on them.
Yes.
And we'll be mailing those out with a little chunk of petrified wood because we ran our 5K in... Well, I say ran. That's funny.
We walked our 5K.
Earned our 5K at the Petrified Forest here in Arizona.
Yeah. We did not get any of the petrified wood from the forest because it is a national forest.
That's very
and that
illegal.
is illegal.
Don't do that.
I picked up this petrified wood on a lot of it came off the property I used to own out east, as we call it here. I used to own some land out there, and I picked up a lot there and just on random hikes around the area that we've taken. So we thought, hey, since we did our race there, we have petrified wood here. It's supporting national parks. We just put a little bonus piece in. I just realized it is me.
I thought the so because it happens when you move.
Let me just close that. Okay, sorry. Anyway. So yeah, we are going to do another virtual 5K in October.
Yeah.
And it might be a little I don't know. Jess got the design going. It might be a little spooky themed.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's going to be...
it's going to be Raven.
A Raven.
But
it's going to be spooky. Yeah.
So, yeah. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
Join our Patreon and get the inside scoop on all the things at patreon.com/Jess and Hids.
Well done.
Thank you.
I feel like we could just end the podcast right now.
No, first I have somebody who wants to say something.
Oh no, what?
Hey there, it's Bobby Lasagna coming to you live from Snowflake, Arizona.
What?
It's time to toss the dice.
Bobby Lasagna, you're my favorite radio host ever.
Oh, thank you. Let's roll some dice. Let's see who's going to talk first.
Okay. Oh gosh.
Oh, look, I rolled exactly half of what you rolled.
Yeah, you did, which means I get to go first.
Again!
How about that?
The streak continues.
Jeez. Is anybody keeping track? If anybody wants to go find out how long it's been since Hids has gone first, let me know. Because I think it's been a while. Third Man Factor? Did you go first then? No, I don't think.
No,
I don't think so. Man.
Wow, I can't remember the last time I went first.
Yeah.
If you want, anybody who's listening through, start keeping track now.
Yeah.
We should. Okay, we should. This is episode 26. We're going to start tracking it.
Okay.
With episode 25, I know you went first on that one.
Yeah. I think I went first with Bloody Mary, too. Bloody Mary, DB Cooper. Or was that one you? I don't remember.
I think that was you, too. That was you. You did Bloody Mary first.
Okay. And then...
I gotta
I don't
write.
know.
I think you've done a lot.
Yeah, it would be interesting to go back and like tally mark who went first.
Yeah.
And I'm winning in that sense.
You're winning. Yay! Winning.
Yay.
Okay.
Oh boy.
What is your subject? Because I know you've been we've both been like, oh man, there's so much like struggling with this research.
Yeah. Okay. The person I'm talking about today.
You're talking about a person too.
I am talking about a person.
I am as well.
Interesting.
Wouldn't it be funny if we somehow drew the same card by accident? Like,
I don't know.
But it wouldn't have.
You're the one who makes the cards, so unless you accidentally made two of them. Interesting.
I don't know. It's going to be really funny.
Yeah. I have a quote from him, actually.
I have a him too. I'm getting very nervous.
Oh, no. You're gonna guess it as soon as I say the quote.
Okay.
The mission of an architect is to help people understand how to make life more beautiful, the world a better one for living in, and to give reason, rhyme, and meaning to life.
Frank Lloyd Wright?
Yeah.
Okay. He's the guy I love and hate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same. Like every single source that I have on this guy praised his genius, hated the man.
Love your work, hate your guts.
Yeah. Exactly that, because he's an egotistical megalomaniac. He had quite a few mistresses. All of his women overlapped his relationships, I guess.
Oh my gosh.
And like, yeah, he was so full of himself, but like the man was a genius in the world of architecture.
Freaking, if like that is my dream, is to own a Frank Lloyd Wright house.
Yes.
Like when I hit the lottery, you will know, because I will buy that. I will buy a Frank Lloyd Wright designed house because that is my dream.
Yeah.
I adore that style.
There was at some point during the week, I almost said something to you about how we totally could have gone to Taliesin West when we were in Phoenix last weekend. And I was like, I want to
go there so
I can't say that because you're going to know my topic, but like, I would love to go see.
I mean, if we're ever in Phoenix and you're like, hey, we have time, we should go to Taliesin West, I'm like so down. Yes. I would totally not even be like, are you going to talk about him on the podcast? I would be like, let's go. Yeah. Let's go. There's been times we've been driving and I'm like, oh, there's the exit. Dang it. We don't have time. We don't have time to go. Okay, fine. Fine. Okay.
Anyway, if you don't know who I'm talking about, I'll get to Taliesin West later and this place in Scottsdale. But Frank Lloyd Wright is a famous architect, really popular in America, specifically the Midwest. But he also had an architecture school here in Arizona. So I think that's why he's sort of on our radar in the first place.
See, I didn't know he had a school here. I knew he had...
Taliesin West is a school.
Oh, it's a school? I thought it was his house because he has Taliesin East.
It's a school. Well, Taliesin East was a school as well.
Oh, geez. See, I know nothing about this person.
We'll get there.
Other than like the dirt and his style. Like, I don't know. I didn't know.
That's pretty much what I've got
Spill
for
the
you.
tea. Let's go.
Yeah. Okay. So Frank Lloyd Wright. I forgot to look up his real name. That's not his real name.
What?
Yeah. Hang on a second.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I didn't know that. I'm looking it up too.
Well, it's not on Wikipedia. Hang on. It's
Frank Lincoln Wright.
Oh, that's it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, so he just changed his middle name.
Yeah, it's similar, but okay. Born Frank Lincoln Wright.
I mean, that works
Which
too,
is something he lied about.
Oh, he lied about it?
Yeah. Like, sure. I don't know.
Don't be a creepy old man.
He lied about a lot of stuff.
Yes.
But yeah, Frank Lloyd Wright was born on June 8th, 1867 in Richland. Wow. Richland? I don't know why I'm tripping on that. Richland Center, Wisconsin. He lied about the year he was born too. He maintained throughout his life that he was born in 1869. He was actually born in 1867. So he was like, oh, 2 years. I'm 2 years younger, actually.
Wait, why?
I don't know. Is
he trying to...
He lied about a lot of stuff.
Okay.
You know, a lot of people lie about their age. It's fine.
Okay.
So another thing that may or may not be true, it's written in his autobiography, is that his mother, when she was pregnant with him, declared that he would grow up to build beautiful things And
how did he know that?
How did she know that? I don't know.
No, how did he know she said that? I mean, I guess she could have told him, but like, oh, yeah, I just knew you would grow up like, okay.
Grow up to build beautiful things.
I don't know. I don't have kids. Like, I don't know if parents like do that, like assign their children their future.
Parents have aspirations for their kids or like have
dreams.
Like you want your kid to be the best that they can be.
Yeah.
But build beautiful things seems very
specific.
Yeah. So
yeah. What if he really hated like his little Lincoln log set and would like throw it out, and she'd be like, "Dang it, you're supposed to be building beautiful things." I hate building, Mom.
Funny, speaking of Lincoln logs. When he was 9 years old, his mother found educational blocks called the Froebel gifts, it was actually part of a kindergarten program. It was like a whole new innovative curriculum introduced to kindergarten. And they're basically wooden blocks and spheres and triangles, just geometric shapes that you could build stuff with.
Well, that's cool.
They're called Froebel gifts.
Like the little blocks of wood and stuff?
Yeah.
I love those.
Yeah, they're made
gosh. If we had some, I would be building stuff all over the place for the cats to knock over.
The bigger sets had like the tall like rods with holes in them, so you can like build off of that.
Oh my gosh, I love those. Can we buy some?
So when he was 9 years old, his mom found him a set of those. In his autobiography, Wright described the influence of these exercises, like building stuff with them, on his approach to design. He says, "For several years, I sat at the little kindergarten tabletop and played with the cube, the sphere, and the triangle. These smooth wooden maple blocks, all are in my fingers to this day." Which I kind of believe. I choose to believe that. His education, there's actually no record of him graduating from high school.
Interesting.
And when he was 19, he was admitted to the University of Wisconsin-Madison as a special student. I think what that means is, like, if you go work for the college, you can have... You could take credits for free.
Okay, yeah.
Because he worked for a professor of civil engineering. He took classes there, but never took a degree.
Okay, I'm going to break in with this. All I'm going to say is synchronicity.
Really? With your topic?
Yeah.
I was like,
it's so weird.
Synchronicity with me. I did graduate high school, but I did not graduate college.
Same.
And I was a work study student, so. So after, I don't have dates for how long he spent in college, but I do know that in 1887.
So he's 20 years after he was born.
Mm-hmm. So.
Or 18, depending on who you believe, I guess.
Yeah. Well, no, because when he was 19, he was admitted to the university.
So he was born in 1867.
He was born, yes, in 1867.
Okay, so 1887 is 20 years later.
Yeah. So maybe he was only there for a year at the University of Wisconsin. 1887, he moved to Chicago in search of employment. As a result of the Great Chicago Fire in 1871 and a population boom, new development was plentiful. And this is actually, you can find that sort of style that Frank Lloyd Wright kind of developed all over the place in Chicago because of the Great Chicago Fire. And all of the up and coming architects, that was the style at the time. And I'll get into the specifics about what that style is called and everything. But I just thought that was interesting that because of this devastating fire, that's
the whole architect shift of the
whole
city.
I love
that.
The style of the city. Just
I think Chicago is. I know. The next time we go, we've been a couple of times. I would love to go and do like the architecture tours.
Yes,
because I just think it is a really pretty city.
It's a beautiful
city. It has
city.
A lot of beautiful buildings, and we should go back again.
Yes.
Okay.
So Wright later recorded in his autobiography that his first impression of Chicago was as an ugly and chaotic city.
I mean, it is chaotic. Some of those streets, like...
It's pretty chaotic. I wouldn't call it ugly. I guess I don't know what it looked like in 1887.
True.
But also coming from Frank Lloyd Wright, anything that he didn't design was ugly. So
well, yeah. I mean, same. Like, I get it. Like... Sorry.
Yeah. So he ended up landing a job as a draftsman within days of his arrival at an architectural firm. During his time in Chicago, he actually worked for a couple different firms over the next few years. And then in 1889, at the age of 22...
Okay, that math.
Okay, yes. I had to double check myself.
Yeah, I was like, that math works.
He married Catherine Lee Tobin, and he was really eager to build his own home. So with the firm he worked at, he negotiated a 5-year contract with them to work in exchange for the loan to build his house.
Oh, cool.
So even with the loan, he was constantly short on funds, and he actually admitted that he makes poor financial decisions due to his expensive tastes in wardrobe and vehicles and the extra luxuries he designed into his home.
Ah.
So because of this, actually, before I go into that, he did have 6 kids and his wife all living in this house that he built. He was constantly adding to it, constantly changing it up. That's a big family. Mm-hmm. And his kids all remembered it being filled with beautiful things. Wright found it hard to go without, and it wasn't long before escalating expenses tempted him into accepting independent residential commissions. He later called these projects his bootlegged houses. Because although he did these on his own time, when the firm that he worked for became aware of them in 1893, Wright was charged with breach of contract because the contract forbade any outside work.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ouch.
And so Frank Lloyd Wright later told 2 different versions of how this went down.
Though, but could you imagine though owning one of those houses and being like,
that's an illegal
Wright house. That's an illegal Wright house.
I got a bootlegged house.
That would be awesome. I want to see if those
They still exist.
Yeah.
I think they do. And I should have written that down. I should have gone into that.
No, you're good. I'll deep dive into that some other time when I win the lottery and I need to find one to buy.
Yeah. They're all in Chicago. A lot of them are in Oak Park where he lived.
I don't know if I want to live in Chicago though.
Yeah. I don't know either.
Okay. Anyway, carry on.
All right. So he claimed that he was unaware of his bootlegged houses, that his bootlegged houses were a breach of his contract. And when his boss learned of them, he was mad and prohibited any further outside commissions and refused to issue Wright the deed to his own house until after he completed his 5 years.
Ooh.
So Wright claimed that. He couldn't bear this new hostility from his boss and thought that the situation was unjust. And so he, quote, threw down his pencil and walked out of the Adler and Sullivan office, never to return. So Sullivan was the one who was his boss. And
super
who
breach
fired
of
him.
Contract, my dude.
Yeah, it was a breach of contract, but apparently...
Don't get mad about it.
He's saying that he didn't know about it.
Well, you signed the contract, so if you didn't read it, that's on you.
Yeah.
That's a shout out to all of us who flip right through that terms of service agreement on every single thing.
And then Wright continued to say that the Adler, the other partner in this firm, felt bad for him and sent him the deed to his house after Wright quit. And then, years later, Wright told one of his apprentices that Sullivan, his boss at the firm, fired him on the spot. And it was also stated, but not by Wright, that Wright had another employee of the firm sign several of the bootleg jobs, indicating that Wright was aware of their forbidden nature. So there's some conflicting stories here.
Yeah.
So Wright said he got sick of the hostility at work and he quit. And then later he said that he was fired and just given the deed and
take
to his house
and go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then later, someone else that worked with him at that firm said, oh, no, he was having somebody in the firm sign off on those houses.
So he knew.
Yeah.
Sketch. Don't be sketchy, man.
There's some lies going on here.
Apparently just the start.
Yeah. So Wright had no contact with his former boss at Adler and Sullivan for 12 years because all that bad blood and
the hostility.
Yeah. But you can actually see influences of Sullivan in his work later that he developed.
Interesting.
Yeah, in Frank Lloyd Wright's work. So him leaving the firm actually presented Wright the opportunity that he needed to go out on his own. So he opened an office and began to design homes that he believed would truly belong on the American prairie. So he, along with several other architects, although he claims full credit for it, were the pioneers of what came to be called the Prairie School movement of architecture. And that style is usually marked by horizontal lines, flat or hipped roofs with broad overhanging eaves, windows grouped in horizontal bands, integration with the landscape, and solid construction and craftsmanship. It reflects discipline in the use of ornament, which was often inspired by organic growth, and scene carved into wood, stenciled on plaster, and colored glass, veined marble, and prints or paintings with a general prevalence of like earthy autumnal colors.
I just Googled image searched prairie school architecture. And yes, I love all these styles. It's like some of them are more recent modern build, maybe, I don't know, but they are like, it's just a beautiful clean lines, like just
he liked
and
to
they're all those
tie-
autumnal colors.
Like he valued the beauty of architecture, but he loved nature, so he wanted to sort of combine the two, but instead of like he still wanted his architecture to be sturdy and strong and clean instead of sort of the wildness that you might think of when you think about nature. So like prairie is flat. You have the flat horizon. You've got like the colors that are kind of like muted. He also was a huge fan of the open floor concept.
I love
spaciousness and continuous horizontal lines were thought to evoke and relate to the wide, flat, treeless expanse of America's native prairie landscape.
So I didn't notice that. I didn't know about that influence, but I love that style. I love that. I love open floor plans in a home where you can just kind of flow from room to room and like not have this little boxes.
If you look up Frank Lloyd Wright houses, they are all open concept. It's not just like you go down a hallway and there's one room, another room, another room. They're all open. And I love it. I love the open floor concept.
I'm just like, I'm kind of scrolling through these pictures and I'm just like, oh, they're so pretty.
So like I said, he loved nature. He believed in designing in harmony with humanity and the environment. And this is a philosophy that he called organic architecture. It's achieved through design approaches that aim to be sympathetic and well integrated with the site. So buildings, furnishings, and surroundings become part of a unified, interrelated composition. So not only did he get his influence from nature, he would look at the specific site of where he was building and pull inspiration from that.
One of my favorite ones is the one that's kind of, I think like if you've heard of Frank Lloyd Wright before, like the one that immediately comes to mind is this one, which I'm going to show you really quick. The waterfall house.
That's called Falling Water. And he's very...
I love that
He
place.
built that for a family, and they picked the location, and it's near a stream with the waterfall. And instead of building next to it, he built the house over the waterfall. And it's gorgeous.
It is absolutely. That is...
Yeah. If you look
one
up
of my favorites.
Falling Water by Frank Lloyd Wright, you could see pictures of that. And I'll put that in the... on the website in our blog.
Yeah. I think it's just so pretty. It's so pretty. Okay, I'm sorry. I keep interrupting you. I'm sorry.
It's fine. By 1901, Wright had completed about 50 projects, 4 of which have since been identified as the onset of the prairie style. So, groundbreaking stuff. In 1903, while Wright was designing a house... we're going to get into some dirt here.
Okay.
While he was designing a house for Edwin Cheney, who was a neighbor in Oak Park in Chicago, he became enamored with Cheney's wife.
Oh, no.
Mama Borthwick Cheney, Mamah, is like a nickname.
Oh, I love that.
Mama was a modern woman with interests outside the home. She was an early feminist, and Wright viewed her as an intellectual equal.
I'm sorry. Did you hear my eye roll just then? Like,
keep in mind that he is married. He's married with many, many children.
6 children, I think you said.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ugh.
So creatively exhausted and emotionally restless, late in 1909, Wright left his family for an extended stay in Europe with Mama. Mama? I don't know. So yeah, he ran away with his mistress.
I don't like... I can see the recording right now, and I'm just like, why aren't my eye rolls registering? I'm so like, ugh.
Those should be making sound waves.
It's like, grown.
So, like, I don't have the quote with me, but didn't he say something about having a mistress, like his mistress is his muse and his wife takes care of the home matters or something? And
my eyes, I'm looking at the back of my head right now. Yes, because I did not know anything about that's part of his life. Mm-hmm. And then I saw that quote somewhere and I was like, ew, I'm sorry, gross. Yeah. What? And then
if it's consensual,
like, he's not great.
If it's consensual, do whatever you want. But also, his wife was against it.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Also, don't cheat on anybody. Like,
your mistress is also married.
Right.
So that wasn't consensual on his part either. So just
don't. I mean, if you aren't happy in your current relationship, bring it to an end, move on.
Well, I will say in his defense, he did try to get a divorce from his wife, but she wouldn't.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oops. Well.
But he didn't try until he was away in Europe or wherever I said he went. Where'd he go? Yeah, Europe.
Hi, hon. I'm in Europe right now with my mistress. Do you want a divorce?
So
what? No.
That was
what? Who are you?
6 years after beginning a relationship with Mama, he ran away with her to Europe and then asked his wife for a divorce, which she would not grant. Oh boy. Yeah. So
okay.
He left because he wanted to escape the weariness and discontent that now governed both his professional and domestic lives. So he was just like done with all of it. So he was like, okay, let's go to Europe. So like I said, during that time, he asked his wife for a divorce. She would not grant him one. Mama's husband, Edwin Cheney, did grant her a divorce. So,
okay,
congratulations.
I guess.
And then in October of 1910, Wright returned to the U.S. He persuaded his mother to buy land for him in Spring Green, Wisconsin. I don't know why he had to persuade his mother to buy the land.
Well, apparently he didn't have his own money. He was spending it on his mistress and trips to Europe.
Yeah, he was there for a year, so he probably just blew through all of his money. He began to build himself a new home, which he called Taliesin. By May 1911, it was complete, and he said he built it as a hope and a haven for himself. Beautiful words, but just knowing this guy, I'm just like, shut up.
I'm just like, oh.
Okay. I do want to touch on the name Taliesin. Mm-hmm. It becomes a recurring theme. I did mention a Taliesin West. So this is Taliesin 1 in Wisconsin. And the reason I call it 1, we'll get to.
Okay.
There have been reiterations of this home.
There
Oh, we'll get to that.
Okay,
okay. Couple there. Yeah, there was
thinking
Taliesin 1, 2, and 3, and then Taliesin West.
Okay.
So this is Taliesin 1. So the name Taliesin, it actually comes from his mother's side of the family. Taliesin was a Welsh poet. His mother's side hails from Wales.
Okay. Hails from Wales.
Hails from Wales. Taliesin was a Welsh poet, also considered to be a magician, a priest. Very, very famous poet.
Seems like a bit of a Johannes factotum.
Yes. And also, there was another Welsh poet that they got their family motto from. And I have the Welsh words staring at me right in front of my face. I don't know if I want to try.
No. Can you give me the translation?
The truth against the world. Which is hilarious again. Because he never told the truth, this man.
Yeah.
The truth against the world.
It's a good motto.
It is a good motto, but this was actually taken from another Welsh poet, YOLO. not YOLO.
YOLO.
IOLO.
Oh, like maybe like YOLO? YOLO?
YOLO.
YOLO. It is YOLO. Because EO is like that. EO is AO. Like, okay, never mind. I'm sorry. Carry on.
I don't know how to pronounce that in Welsh.
I don't
does
either.
actually have another name that it's easier to pronounce, but I forgot to write it down.
Okay.
The last name is Morganwg. Morganwg. But anyway, this Welsh poet also had a son named Taliesin. So the name Taliesin is kind of, it comes from his family roots.
Oh, I looked it up and it is just pronounced YOLO.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay. I'm going to look up some poems from him.
Okay.
Because I think with a name like that, I'm probably going to love him. So anyway, that's where the name Taliesin came from. And I thought that was interesting because I always wondered.
Yeah, it was. I didn't realize, well, I knew there was an East and a West. I didn't realize, I forgot that the East had multiple iterations.
Yes, and we're getting into that right now.
Okay.
So, Taliesin I, the first, I guess. In August 1914, Wright's life with Mama was tragically closed when a domestic employee at Taliesin kind of went berserk. Mm-hmm. Took an axe and slaughtered Wright's mistress, 2 of her children, and 4 other people, and then set fire to the building. Wright was out of town at this time, but the news was on the front pages all over the place. Oh, I forgot to look it up on newspapers.com. I wanted to find an article about that. But, okay, so that's where I'm going to leave it for this episode of the podcast. But for true crime lovers, this is what I'm going to be talking about in And Another Thing in our little after chat.
Oh, okay.
So if you want to hear more about this, trigger warning, it's an axe murder. But I'll be given a few more details. So yeah, become a patron so you can listen if you like true crime.
I know this story and it's like, what the heck is happening?
Yeah, it's interesting. But anyway, because this employee that went crazy set fire to the house, it burned down. At least a section of it did. Mm-hmm. And Wright was devastated, but he rebuilt immediately. And he wrote, during the rebuilding process, he wrote, "There is release from anguish in action. Anguish would not leave Taliesin until action for renewal began. Steadily again, stone by stone, board by board, Taliesin II will begin to rise from the ashes of Taliesin I." Which, I mean, I know we've been bashing this guy. But there is release from anguish in action.
Yeah.
I love that.
I love that too. I'm not bashing his talent or his genius. I'm bashing his morals.
Yeah, his morals were, and like, he obviously loved his mistress, Mama, this woman. Yeah. He was devastated, and that's horrible. I'm sad that those people lost their lives, and that's terrible. Yeah. I just I don't know. I won't dive into that, but it's just like, not a great guy, but also like that's a terrible thing to happen to anyone. Yeah. Yeah. So once Taliesin II was completed, he kind of abandoned it for nearly a decade as he pursued major work in Tokyo and LA. So he finished the house,
and then he was like, I got work to do. Okay.
Yeah. Speaking of his work in Tokyo, he was always a passionate Japanophile. He loved everything Japan. He loved the architecture over there. And he once proclaimed it to be the most romantic, artistic, nature-inspired country on earth.
Oh, wow.
He loved it there. And he actually did some influential work over there. I'm not sure how much of it is standing today, but I know he worked on, this part isn't in my notes, but there was a famous hotel that he worked on that was actually demolished, but the lobby and sort of main building of this hotel was rebuilt.
The Imperial Hotel Tokyo.
Imperial Hotel in Tokyo, yes.
Oh gosh, it is beautiful.
Yeah. But he worked on that
Oh gosh, it is absolutely gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He inspired a lot of Japanese architecture at the time as well. So not only did he get inspiration from traditional Japanese architecture, but he went and inspired a lot of young architects in Japan.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, so it was, okay, the Frank Lloyd Wright, the Imperial Hotel, Frank Lloyd Wright, originally built in Tokyo, then moved to Nagoya to an outdoor museum after a major earthquake.
Oh, that's right. It was. So the earthquake didn't actually bring the building down. I remember reading that. It survived the earthquake, but I think it was demolished later.
I want to find out some more about it, but
yeah, I don't remember what I read.
This is like a
keep that link open and we can talk about it in the after.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. In 1922, his wife finally granted him a divorce. Under the terms of the divorce, good for her. The terms of the divorce, Wright was required to wait 1 year before he could marry his new mistress, Maud Miriam Noel. And so he did. He waited a year and then he married his mistress. But her addiction to morphine led to the failure of the marriage less than 1 year later.
Goodness.
In 19, I know. Yeah.
That's sad. It's so sad.
Not much is sort of written about her, but the divorce didn't go through until 1927. But in 1924, after the separation from Miriam, after they separated, but before they were divorced, Wright met Olga Lazarevich Hinzenberg, and they moved in together in Taliesin in 1925. So 2 years after that, the divorce to Miriam was finalized. They're all overlapping.
Oh my gosh.
I know. Just like you're separated.
Fine. But also
finalize the divorce before you move in with another.
Yeah, and
lady.
I mean there might have been some. I mean with
the morphine addiction.
With the addiction, there might have been some just getting her, aware enough to sign things, but also maybe. It seems like they're. I don't know. Just okay.
Yeah,
I think the biggest thing I have is that his attitude, like you mentioned the quote about your mistress is your muse and your wife takes care of the home.
Yeah. His whole attitude is that he's entitled to have whatever woman he wants, no matter
that's the vibe
previous
I feel.
Commitments that he has made.
Yeah. Okay. I still like you, but look at this pretty thing or my new muse and again, and I know that's a trope for artists and stuff, but also no.
Yeah.
I don't
like it.
I don't like it.
I don't like it. So after the divorce from Miriam, he was again required to wait 1 year before remarrying. And after that year, in 1928, Wright and Olga got married.
Okay.
So in 1932, Wright and Olga decided to open up Taliesin to students. So this is when it becomes his school.
Okay.
They put out a call for students to come in and work under Wright while they learned architecture, and from Olga, they learned spiritual development. Olga, fun fact, was a student of G.I. Gurdjieff, who developed the Fourth Way. And if you remember, that's also who Bert Schoenberg and one of his crazy wives followed.
Oh my gosh.
The Fourth Way. So,
whoa.
Yeah. It was
to episode 24,
I don't remember what episode that
23, something like that.
So it was sort of
crazy.
This spiritual movement, kind of woo-woo stuff. I don't know. I didn't look into it this time because I was like, cult. Oh, wow, callback. Crazy.
It's a cult.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, find spiritualism any way you want.
Yeah.
I will say that.
Yes.
It
careful
seems
who you follow.
It seems to have attracted a lot of weird people, though. So I'll say that. And then I'll move on.
Moving on.
So the students were apprentices. They opened it up as an apprenticeship program to provide a total learning environment, integrating not only architecture and construction, but also farming, gardening, and cooking, and the study of nature, music, art, and dance. So it was everything.
Okay.
Yeah. So he and Olga ran that together. In the winter of 1934, the Wrights and the fellowship, the Taliesin Fellowship as it is known now, they rented quarters in the warmer air of Arizona because winter was really cold.
Yeah.
So Wright acquired some acreage of raw, rugged desert in the foothills of the McDowell Mountains in Scottsdale. Here, he and the Taliesin Fellowship began the construction of Taliesin West as a winter camp. It was a bold new endeavor for desert living where he tested design innovations, structural ideas, and building details that responded to the dramatic desert setting. So Wright and the Fellowship established migration patterns between Wisconsin and Arizona this whole time.
Taliesin West is beautiful.
Taliesin West is amazing, and I want to go there. Like every time,
to plan a trip.
Yeah, we've driven by it a few times,
and you can see it up on the mountain, and you're just like, there it is. Let's go see it. And we always like have other places we need to be.
Yeah,
we need to just plan it in our.
We do.
Okay, all right. Sorry, I'd like to look it up.
That's okay.
You can get the Taliesin West as a Lego. Oh no, I'm sorry.
What?
It's the atom brick. It's not Lego.
Oh, okay. Is that like the same thing?
No, it's not, because Lego is very specific measurements.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
You can make all kinds of bricks, plastic bricks that click together. You just can't call them Lego unless they're specific measurements, but you can't use those measurements because they are owned by Lego.
Like Lego is
which is fascinating.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I mean, Lego, if you're listening, you should do some Frank Lloyd Wright houses.
They probably do. Yeah. I mean, they do everything else. I don't know. Okay, now I have to. Okay, continue on. I'm sorry.
We did just say that your stuff is too expensive for us, though, so I'm sorry. We have friends, though, that love building Legos. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Oh, yeah, there are.
Neat.
Well, yeah, they did Falling Water.
Oh, cool.
It's $700 on Amazon. I should probably go look at their actual site, but anyway, cool. Yeah, cool. Anyway,
okay.
Carrying on.
Can
sorry.
I talk now?
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I went down a rabbit hole of Legos.
It's okay. So during the last decade of Wright's life, there was a large exhibition of his work that opened. It was called Frank Lloyd Wright, 60 Years of Living Architecture. And that was soon on an international tour. It traveled to Florence, Paris, Zurich, Munich, Rotterdam, and Mexico City before returning to the United States for additional venues. This is while he was in his 80s. So he continued to travel extensively, lecture widely, and write prolifically. He was still actively involved with all aspects of work, including frequent trips to New York to oversee construction of the Guggenheim Museum, which, look that up too. It's really cool.
The
Guggenheim Museum. And in April of 1959, he was suddenly stricken by an illness which forced his hospitalization. And I believe 5 days after hospitalization, he passed away. It was April 9th. And this was 2 months shy of his 92nd birthday. He died at the age of 91.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He was very active all through his life.
Just like, wow.
Yeah.
The Goog is gorgeous.
It is. It's really cool.
And now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, I know. I saw the image. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's the round.
Yeah. It's the round one that's kind of like a ramp.
Yeah. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
I want to go to there too.
So,
okay.
That was his timeline. He lived a crazy full life. And I definitely would not have liked him.
No.
If I had met him. But his work is amazing. And like I said in the beginning, every single source that I have, every article that I read said something about how egotistical he was and how difficult he was to work for or with. I did find on Goodreads, I found a list of quotes from him.
Okay.
And I'm going to read a few.
Okay.
So right from the beginning, he says, "Early in my career, I had to choose between an honest arrogance and a hypocritical humility. I deliberately chose an honest arrogance, and I've never been sorry." So he even knows how arrogant he is.
And like, I'm like, okay, take pride in your work, take pride in what you put out. And it's fine to have that pride, but like arrogance is a totally different thing.
Yeah. And like a hypocritical humility, I don't know, whatever. I don't know.
Okay. So yeah, he was a egotistical little punk.
Okay. And he owned it.
I mean, own it, I guess.
Yeah. It's fine.
It's fine. Okay. Give me another one.
He also said, "Not only do I fully intend to be the greatest architect who has yet lived, but fully intend to be the greatest architect who will ever live. Yes, I intend to be the greatest architect of all time."
Well, failed, I would say. I think, no, ugh.
I mean, I do love his style.
Like, I love his style, but like other people don't.
Yeah.
Like you have to love that those lines and that clean look and that blending look. But some people would like, want a more,
something
like cottagey look. You know, somebody might like a little more homey, a curved, cozy place instead of a more clean lines, whatever.
Yeah.
So
that prairie style.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ugh.
Greatest architect of all time, self-proclaimed. So yeah, he was totally full of himself, but then he also has some really beautiful quotes, and I have a couple.
Okay. Let's end on a good note.
Okay. "The longer I live, the more beautiful life becomes. If you foolishly ignore beauty, you will soon find yourself without it. Your life will be impoverished, but if you invest in beauty, it will remain with you all the days of your life."
Okay, I love that.
Right?
See,
yeah.
Genius is difficult.
It is.
Because you have, quotes like that and then quotes like, "Oh, I'm the best that ever was."
Yeah. "I had to choose between an honest arrogance and a hypocritical humility. I had to choose, so of course I'm going to go with arrogance."
Okay. Okay, but that is beautiful because I think you should surround yourself with things you find beautiful and you will be happier.
And I love the whole, like, if you foolishly ignore beauty, you will soon find yourself without it. Mm-hmm. And like, yeah, if you don't pay attention to it, you'll never see beauty in your life. Okay. But if you invest in it, it will remain with you all the days of your life.
I loved that. Okay, I like that. Okay.
And just touching on nature a little bit, this is a very short quote. It says, "Study nature, love nature, stay close to nature. It will never fail you."
Aw.
Which I love.
See, I love that.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it. That's all I've got for Frank Lincoln Wright. Oh, sorry, Frank Lloyd Wright.
Frank Lloyd Wright. I mean, I know we've been bagging on the guy, and I know there's dirt and there's tragedy in his life, and that sucks. But he's a genius.
I absolutely
in architecture, I think.
Love. It was only just recently, I mean, within the last few years, that one of the Frank Lloyd Wright houses in Scottsdale that he had worked on, a private residence, was for sale. And we were like, dude, we should do this. But no, it was like millions of dollars.
I could sell a kidney. We can make the down payment.
No, we can't. With a kidney? That's only a couple thousand.
Oh, darn. Black market prices have gone down. Sorry.
The price of everything else has gone up, though.
Oh, jeez.
Doesn't seem fair, does it?
Doesn't seem fair. No. Anyway.
No, but like I definitely encourage anybody listening to Google just Frank Lloyd Wright houses design and
let us know if you think it's as beautiful as we do. Like I'd love like someone going, "Oh, no, I don't like that, but here's what I do like."
Yeah.
Like I like that kind of back and forth because I can I mean, architecture is one of my favorite things. Like you were talking about drafting, and like my dad took drafting in school because like they taught it in high school.
I took AutoCAD classes,
and I was so excited to get to high school because I was going to take drafting.
Aww.
And they literally ended the program the year before that was the last year. Mm-hmm. And I was like, no, I wanted to do this. And like the old school drafting is obsolete now because of the AutoCAD and the computerized, but it was always something that I wanted to do and like be able to do. Like it was just fascinating to me. Like you can build a building on paper
and
make it work like from all the different angles and stuff.
I inherited this from my mom, but I love looking at house plans.
I love looking at house plans.
I love I will draw out on graph paper my current floor plan and then rearrange things and just see what I can do.
We did that not long ago. We were like, hey, what if we did this?
Yeah. Don't worry, Mom. We're not taking anything.
We would love to just knock out all the walls and have open floor plan.
Open floor concept.
Put some clean lines in here.
Yeah. No,
it's fine. It's fine.
But yeah, I love looking at house plans and I'm fascinated by architecture. I actually when I first got into photography as a hobby, every time I would go on family vacations, I would just take pictures of buildings and people would be like, why aren't you taking pictures of the people? And I'm like, the people I see every day.
Yes, I see them. It's fine.
I'm not going to see this building every day.
Yeah. I went on a short trip to New Orleans and I took so many pictures and have no idea where those pictures are. I think I think in one of my phone upgrades or transfers, the pictures were
they didn't
lost. They didn't get
up.
Yeah,
sad.
Which is super sad because again we need to do an architecture tour in New Orleans because my gosh, gorgeous place. Yeah. So anyway,
what are you talking about?
Well, I'm also going to talk to you about a gentleman who was born in the mid 1800s, 1856 to be exact, 1 year prior to Mr. Wright there.
Or 3 years.
Or 3 years, depending on who you want to believe. He also went to a civil technical college and did not graduate.
What? What?
He was also a genius in his own field.
Which was?
However, he was not involved with any women at all. Ever in his life.
Oh, who are we talking about?
We're talking about Nikola Tesla.
Oh my goodness, I forgot he was on the list.
Yeah.
I did not realize that they lived in the
same time frame.
That's crazy. That blows my mind. Okay. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to learn about Tesla. Tell me.
Okay, when did your dude die?
My dude died.
He was 91.
He was 91.
And he was born in 57.
1959 is when he died.
Okay, Tesla was 86 when he died. So he died a few years prior. Wow. So they were
in the peak of their prime.
In the peak of their prime.
At the same time.
Okay, that's the name of our this episode. In the peak of their prime at the same time.
Two men in the peak of their prime at the same time.
So yeah,
that's crazy. Okay.
I don't think about
mind blown.
Yeah, what? Okay, cool.
Wow.
Nikola Tesla. So we all know we all know Tesla and electricity and brilliance.
The Tesla coil.
The Tesla coil. And I'm going to say recently, but it's been in my lifetime. I don't remember when this article came out, but an article was put out by the oatmeal.
Oh, I like the oatmeal.
Yeah. So this was posted, I forgot what the date was when this was posted. Let me see if I can find that out. Oh, sweetheart, what was that little sound?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Somewhere in the 2012, 2013, somewhere in there. The oatmeal put this article out, and it was entitled, "Why Nikola Tesla Was the Greatest Geek Who Ever Lived."
Cool. I'm here for this.
And I read this, and I was like, wow, biased much about how wonderful Tesla is?
Okay.
And they definitely are. And it's fine because also I'm on board with this. However, this kind of brought into current mindset or current knowledge, like the so-called feud between Tesla and Edison.
Yeah.
And like this oatmeal article does like bash Edison hard.
Oh, man.
Like really hard. Like there are words I'm not going to say.
I think I have read this article
Edison
before.
was not a geek. He was a CEO. And this is kind of the crux of the matter. Like we all go, Thomas Edison invented the light bulb. He didn't.
He didn't.
He sold the light bulb.
Stop.
And made it like he was a salesman and he knew how to make a buck.
Yeah.
But we're not talking about Edison. We're going to talk about Tesla.
Cool.
Okay. Nikola Tesla was born in 1856 in Smiljan. I hope I'm saying that right. That's what it looked like when I looked up the pronunciation. Smiljan, Croatia, which was then part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire.
Okay.
I
didn't realize that.
I didn't either.
I think I
have
knew
Hungarian background.
I think I knew Hungarian. I didn't know the specifics.
So he's Serbian Croatian.
Yeah.
His father was a priest in the Serbian Orthodox Church, and his mother managed the family's farm. In 1863, his brother Daniel was killed in a riding accident, and the shock of this kind of unsettled Tesla. And after this, he reported seeing visions, which could possibly have been the first sign of lifelong mental illnesses.
Oh,
which is very sad. He had, and like these weren't diagnoses that he had at the time, but looking back over his work and his writings and everything, they say he had OCD. He would only stay in hotel rooms that were divisible by the number 3. He had a deep aversion to women wearing earrings.
Oh.
And he had a deep obsession with pigeons.
Oh.
Yes. He also possibly had dementia in his later years.
Oh.
But through all of this, he was a genius. Like he studied electrical engineering at the Austrian Polytechnic in Graz, and he left in his 3rd year, never received a degree.
Mm-hmm.
And then he eventually moved to the United States. Sorry, there was one thing I wanted to bring out here that I did. After he left school, like his family was like, anyone seen Nikola? Anyone seen Nikola for recently? Because he just kind of left and went off.
Oh.
And then someone did see him. Like there were rumors that he had drowned.
Oh.
But then one of his fellow classmates ran into him in the town of Maribor and told his family. And basically he had been working there as a draftsman.
Whoa.
And just kind of scraping by 60 florins a month, which I didn't do the math on that. But that was in the 1870s. He finally, his father finally found him and said, come home, continue your education. And he actually did return for a little while. But when his father died, he kind of drifted a little bit. He did teach in his old school for a little while. And then in 1880, sorry, I got to scroll through my notes. 2 of his uncles helped him get together enough money to go to Prague to continue his education.
Okay.
Sorry.
Continue to school.
He got too late to enroll at the university. He had never studied Greek, which was a required subject. He was illiterate in Czech, which was another required subject. But he did attend lectures at the university as an auditor.
Huh.
So,
okay.
Like, I was like, we're talking about the same person. But so he attended and he was allowed to like sit in on the classes and everything, but obviously no credit, no degree.
Yeah.
You just got free learning, but you couldn't really be like, oh yes, I am a civil engineer or an electrical engineer or whatever.
Want to know who else knows Greek? Little Bang Chan. Little Christopher Bang Chan. He can speak Greek. I saw a video. Anyway, that's why I gasped randomly when you said he knows Greek.
It was funny because I was listening to it, and that's why we drink at work today. And this guy who was supposedly abducted from aliens would later do automatic writing in Greek backwards, but he did not speak Greek.
Okay.
Anyway, so Greek popping up, it's like, I don't know.
That's weird.
Weird. Anyway.
We should make Greek food.
Yeah, because I know how to do that. Oh, man, I can't remember what it's called, but they do this like breaded cheese that they light on fire. Oh, it's so good. Mm. My friend Alix could tell me what the name of that was. She could say it. She's Greek. She's a chef. She could probably make me some. Alix, come to Texas and make, or come to Texas. What? Come to Arizona and make me some Greek food, please. Okay, thanks. Bye. In 1884, Nikola Tesla came to America in New York, and he was hired as an engineer at Thomas Edison's. Oops. I moved my screen and I lost my note.
Oh, no.
At Thomas Edison's Manhattan headquarters. So he worked there for a year. Edison was impressed with his diligence, his ingenuity, and by all accounts, they had a good working relationship.
Yeah. Then
there is a claim which Tesla mentioned in his autobiography. Okay, so there is the conflict was, sorry, I'm looking at the words. My brain is not processing what they are. The origins of the purported Tesla-Edison conflict is a misinterpreted statement in Tesla's autobiography. Tesla claims, I'm going to pull this out. This is his autobiographical book called My Inventions. He says, for nearly a year, my regular hours were from 10:30 a.m. until 5 o'clock the next morning without a day's exception. Edison said to me, I have had many hardworking assistants, but you take the cake. During this period, I designed 24 different types of standard machines with short cores and of uniform pattern, which replaced the old ones. The manager had promised me $50,000 on the completion of this task, but it turned out to be a practical joke. This gave me a painful shock, and I resigned my position. So, the Edison conflict, there's kind of two conflicts. There's this one, and then there's the war of currents, which Tesla proposed AC current, alternating current, and Edison was like, no, direct current, DC. So, you've always heard the AC, DC electrical currents, like, not the band. And like, I did not want to become an electrical engineer, so I'm not going to dive into all of that. I can't, it's not something I could do overnight, but most of the world runs on alternating currents because it is safer.
Yeah.
There's a reference, which I'm going to talk about in the after chat to a Bob's Burger episode about
my gosh.
Tesla and the war of currents. Okay. So I'm going to talk about that there because I don't think it goes here, but I kind of do want to.
Now that song's in my head.
I know. It's like
Topsy.
Topsy. Yes.
Oh man.
It wasn't great.
Yeah. No.
There was
an experiment involving an elephant and electricity.
Not just an elephant. Many animals went missing from the neighborhood in Edison's attempt to prove that alternating current was more dangerous than direct current.
Wow.
It was not great.
No.
It's not great.
Oh.
It's not great. But
apparently the and another thing session is going to be very dark.
It's going to be a little dark.
I'm talking about murder.
It's going to be dark.
And you're
I'm going to talk about electrocution.
Murder.
Yes. Yeah.
Animal murder. Oh no.
So the big thing that was brought up in the oatmeal article and is this $50,000. You design some cool stuff. We're going to give you a $50,000 bonus. $50,000 at that time is like around $1.8 to $2 million now.
Yeah.
Or sometime. It's probably even more at this point because the article that I referenced was from some time ago. And that's like not even like the company would not even have had that money to give as a bonus. That was like 40 years pay.
Dang.
At that time period. So the joke is that Edison, you do not understand our American humor, Tesla. That was a joke. But in in Tesla's autobiography, he says, so I'm going to read that quote. It said, Edison said to me, I've had many working assistants, but you take the cake. And then during this time, the manager had promised me $50,000 on the completion of this task. So we don't know that the manager was Edison. And it was most likely a guy named Samuel Insull, who was kind of the manager of Edison's company at that time.
Okay.
Edison wasn't really involved in the day-to-day of the company at that time. So it was probably this manager guy who was like, oh, you solve these problems and I'll give you 50 grand. Oh, that was a joke. He was known for not liking Tesla. Anyway, here's what Edison had to say about the period with Tesla in his own writings. Absolutely nothing at all. He mentions working with Tesla. He has no angry notes from him. There's no mention of any kind of feud, or I mean, like while Tesla was working with him.
Yeah.
He was not, like, he literally says, you're one of my best workers.
Huh.
So, yeah. And they corresponded later over X-rays, which Tesla also possibly discovered. And it's credited to, we're called Roentgen waves, Roentgen. And Tesla, like Edison was like, this guy's doing this. Hey, you, Tesla, you beat him to the punch. Let's get this. So like Edison was very smart.
Yeah.
But he was everything I read, he was a salesman.
Yeah.
He was a CEO. He was like,
he seems like I'm
going to pull all my smart people here.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get them to do cool things. And then I'm going to make money or whatever.
Spread it around.
Yeah. But he did tend to take credit for stuff because it was kind of under his umbrella business.
Salesman and a hype man.
Yes. Tesla ended up going to work for the Westinghouse company. And they actually won the right to power the World's Fair, the Chicago World's Fair in 1893.
Interesting.
In Chicago, yeah.
In Chicago.
And they powered the whole fair and with the alternating current. One of the things about Tesla, like he wanted to have this alternating current, and he believed that you could just have a few stations around the globe and actually use the earth as a conductor for electricity.
Wow.
And like his reasoning was kind of sound, but I think they've like, that wouldn't work that way.
Yeah.
He also...
Well, according to ancient aliens.
I mean, have you seen the conductors under the pyramids that they just found?
Yeah.
Anyway. So yeah, there's a lot, like he had a lot of good ideas. He had an eidetic memory, and also he could see an entire like electric motor in his head and just draw it out, even down to like the full schematics. And then he would be like, here, this is what we have to build. And the people building it are like, what? No, how do we like, and he'd have to like basically like reverse engineer his own work so that other people could understand it, like to make it buildable.
Yeah. He sounds really cool.
He sounds really cool. and he did have, there's some mental illness there. Because he was like so focused, and he was just so like, he would come up with ideas and ideas and ideas. And like, he would read all the time. He would envision these diagrams, and then he would just like, sometimes he would like, I'm just going to build this. And he would build it and have no drawings to work from.
Oh man.
And again, the people are like, how did you do that?
Yeah.
You know, yeah, like, just go build some more of these little motors that I've built for you. And he's like, they're like, but
how?
Where's the drawings, you know? And he also, like many great scientific minds and also many people with mental illnesses, he required little sleep and is reported once to have worked 84 hours straight without stopping to eat or rest.
Oh.
And I'm like, dude,
take care of yourself.
Take care of yourself. We talked a little bit about I want to talk a little bit about what he is credited with. The Tesla coil, which was a high frequency transformer. He did a lot of experiments with electrical lighting, wireless lighting. So like in his demonstrations, he would have someone on one side of the stage with his coil, and then people in the audience or on the other side of the stage holding just light bulbs, and they would light up.
That's so cool.
So like wireless energy, which we kind of have today. Yeah. He's ahead of his time. He was big on the development of X-rays, phosphorescence, electrotherapy, and the wireless transmission of electric energy. He is credited with inventing the fluorescent bulb and neon lights, as well as the spark plug for internal combustion engines. He provided the basis for radar, the electron microscope, and microwave ovens. He even dabbled in robotics.
Whoa.
He had the first working model of a remote control boat that he tried to sell to the U.S. military, and they were like, it's kind of clunky, doesn't work. And he's like, well, it's a prototype, you know, but so they were kind of like, take your little toy and go home. But yeah, like he has all of this stuff. But again, like there was the mental illness, like they call it, with brilliance often comes eccentricity. He had the obsessive compulsive disorder. He had an obsession with pigeons and an aversion to women wearing earrings. So like people were like, okay, weirdo, like women are going to wear earrings. It's like, I just can't stand them. But I lost the link that I had, but there was like one thing where he was talking about this one pigeon that he really loved that would come to the floor. He like moved his building into like floors of hotels, like his lab he would take over, or apartment buildings or these floors of these hotels. And he had this one pigeon that had very specific white bars on her wings, and he talked about her, how much he loved her and how much she understood him, and he would talk to her for hours on the rooftops. And I was like, oh, sweet boy.
That's cute.
He loved his little pigeons. But he did have a nervous breakdown when he was young. We talked about that with his brother, and that may have contributed to some of this mental illness. This is the second. Remember earlier this week I was like, oh yeah, I'm back on the FBI website.
Oh yeah.
When Tesla died at 86 years old in the New York hotel room he called home, he died, I think, on the 7th. And then I can't remember what month, but he died on the 7th. And on the 8th, the FBI was in there like, we're having that, and we're having this, and we're having that, and we'll take this, because he was allegedly working on a death ray for the government.
Wow.
Also, they were very concerned that he might have had connections to the Yugoslavian government, which I think at the time was kind of tied in with Cold War stuff and that sort of thing. I didn't deep dive into all of that, but if you want to go on the FBI's website, I'll have the link and you can read all of the documents. A lot of names are redacted, but then like it'll be, I was reading one and it was like, redacted, and then all those same names are in the next paragraph, and I'm like, someone didn't do their job correctly, because like you could see like even like the black marker wouldn't be over the whole name. And I'm like, y'all getting sloppy over here. I can tell that this name and that name are exactly the same. But yeah, so I kind of like the other night I was just reading through different letters, correspondence from FBI records, and I'm like, this is fascinating. Because they were like, oh, no one has called to ask for his stuff. And then someone else is like, yes, several people have called to ask for his stuff. But I told you I would tell you if it was just like all this back and forth in correspondence. So 2 episodes in the row, I'm on the FBI's website looking at information, which is just like, okay, cool. I'm on the watch list again.
Yeah.
But yeah, so a lot of the information that I found, I really was like reading it and going, what? There were a lot of words in there so I kind of was like, wanted to just dwell on the overview. Like I said, this could be a 2-parter.
Yeah.
And I thought it was interesting that after the oatmeal put that, because I've always heard like, oh, Edison was a jerk and Tesla was a genius and Edison stole all Tesla's work. Yeah. And he did take credit for work that Tesla did while Tesla worked for Edison. So I feel like that's kind of a blurred line, because a lot of times when you work for a company, your work belongs to
the
them.
Company. Yeah.
Because they're paying you for your work.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I mean, I don't think Edison was as great a person as maybe my 5th grade history said he was,
Yeah.
But was anybody as great a person as your 5th grade history said they were? So,
No.
no. So yeah, there was a little beef with Marconi.
Oh.
So Marconi invented the radio.
Uh-huh.
Well, he used Tesla's work.
He played the bamba.
And
listen to the radio. Don't you remember? We built this city. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. All right. In Marconi.
Yes.
Credited with inventing the radio for years and years and years. In 1943, the Supreme Court overturned Marconi's patent and credited Tesla with being the first to patent radio technology.
Wow. I didn't know that.
I did not know that either.
Wait, did I know that?
I always go Marconi radio. Boom. Like, that's my brain is like that. But
so there was a TV show called Warehouse 13 on the Sci-Fi Channel.
Siffy.
And Siffy on the Siffy Channel. It's definitely one of those sci-fi shows that's super cheesy, but like they had random facts about Tesla. Like their whole organization used a lot of technology invented by Tesla. And I think they actually did say something about him inventing the radio.
So yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, he did. He may not have specifically went and said, I am inventing the radio, but his technology, he worked in radio. He actually worked in radio for quite some time and then was like, the radio waves signals are too bulky for what I want to work with. So he kind of shifted. And then Marconi was like, I have invented the radio. Ta-da! And Tesla was like, no, you didn't. I did that.
Yeah, wait a minute.
That's my patent. That's my patent. That's my patent. What are you doing? So yeah, in 1943, the Supreme Court was like, hey, you know what? Tesla was right. You did not invent the radio, Mr. Marconi. That was good.
Yeah.
I will say Tesla spent a lot of his life very poor. There were times when he was flush with money and then he would just put it all back into his inventions and his studies and work and stuff. But when he died, he was pretty destitute. Aww. And there was like some of his stuff was being held like as payment for his room. But at this point, most of his work has been released by the FBI. And it can be seen in the Nikola Tesla Museum in Belgrade.
Oh, I want to go there.
It holds more than 160,000 original documents and over 1,000 plans and drawings of his work.
That's cool.
So I'm like, okay, I want to go to there.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So we can go to Croatia or Serbia, wherever Belgrade is.
Belgrade is Serbia.
It's in Serbia, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that, like I said, I could talk for several more hours, but a lot of it is very technical stuff about the different types of motors he built and the different current, like the alternating current. And he basically did have a plan to provide energy with one or two not buildings, but
towers,
locations.
Yeah.
Generators? But the big thing came down to once it was built, there was no way to regulate the energy.
Oh.
So then you're like, here's $1 million to build this thing. We don't get paid for it.
Yeah.
So
okay.
It came down to money.
Yeah.
There. Like, and I like, part of me is like, but do good things and let people have energy. But at the same time, I understand if you're putting all of this money into this thing, you expect to have your return on your investment. So I understand the corporate side of things.
Yeah.
Like,
I guess I get that.
but also what about the good of mankind?
The technology exists. So let's develop it. Mm-hmm. And
But money, Jess, money.
Yeah.
Money. That's what my voice did a rip. Money,
please.
Money, please.
Speaking of money, you should join our Patreon.
So we can go to Belgrade and visit the Nikola Tesla Museum.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like Tesla.
That's cool. I I like Tesla too.
Yeah. He just seems like he was just a really dedicated genius.
Yeah.
And I
think he found his passion and went with it.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah. Good for him. Never married.
Yeah.
Mr. Wright could have taken some studies from Tesla. But I just thought it was funny. You were like, your guy went to college and never graduated. My guy went to college, never got a degree.
Yeah.
And both were geniuses in their field. And they lived at the same, like it didn't even click.
Yeah. That they
You were talking about dates and I looked down and my sentence was, he was born in 1856. And I was like, wait, she just said 1857. I was like, what?
Yeah.
They were, I mean, it's quite possible that they knew each other.
Yeah.
I mean,
Tesla was at the Chicago World's Fair.
What
year was that?
That was in 19 something. 1893.
All right. I'm trying to find out what year I said. Oh, in 1893, Wright was charged with breach of contract for building his bootlegged houses.
Oh.
So he might have been at the World's Fair.
I'm sure he attended. I feel like that would be a thing he would attend.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody would.
You know who else
travel.
was there? Disney.
Oh,
Walt Disney.
Right.
I want Tesla and Walt Disney to collaborate.
Well, they've both passed,
I know.
unfortunately, but
That's my dream team, though.
I like it.
Frank Lloyd Wright can be involved, but only for the design
Only
stuff.
for the
They
design.
don't have to hang out. All right.
Oh, we got to do a card draw, don't we?
We have to do our card draw.
Okay.
Okay.
Bobby Lasagna breaking in here with a quick message about
Hey, folks,
Patreon.
it's Bobby Lasagna. If you would like to find out what we're going to talk about after we record this episode, when we do a little bonus content chat session, subscribe to our Patreon.
That's patreon.com/Jess and Hids.
Yes.
Thank you,
That's
Bobby.
not what I was going to say, but
No, I just threw that in there.
yeah. Patreon.com/Jess and Hids. Our lowest tier is $3 a month. Highest tier is $20 a month. You get awesome merch with the highest tier every month that we ship out every quarter. It's really cool.
If you want to, you can support us for 1 month at a time, or if you want a 15% discount, you can support us for a year.
Yeah. Sign up for a whole year, you get a 15% discount. Okay.
Which is just $30 at the chaotic level. Ooh,
yeah.
smack myself in the head.
Chaotic level is our lowest level. That's the $3 a month. But if you subscribe for a full year, that's $30. That's so cheap.
That's like buying us dinner one night.
Yeah.
Actually, it's probably not even quite dinner.
No,
but
not
we
even.
We don't eat a lot,
It's
so
half of what we get with the Asian restaurant. If you want to pay for half of our food,
half of our food one night.
Thank you. We will splurge on some Asian food.
Anyway, we do a lot of fun stuff with our different tiers.
Including, totally forgot to mention, we just opened up signups for the next D&D campaign that we're doing. This is not a continuation, but we're calling it season 2 of our cryptid campaign. It takes place 20 years after the events of the cryptid campaign. It's going to be fun. We are welcoming. You don't have to have played the first campaign or even know anything about it if you want to sign up for this one.
You don't even have to have played D&D before. Yeah,
we will totally teach you. We will tell you everything that you would need to know about the universe, the setting, and how to play.
Fun.
So if you want to sign up for that, become a Patreon. Become a patron, and you'll see the sign up form. It's just been recently posted.
Yep.
Yeah.
We have a lot of fun.
When you sign up, you could just message us and be like, "Hey, I'm here for the D&D. Where's the form?
Where's the form? I will
send it right over."
Yeah. And we're also, once we wrap this campaign and rework our schedule, we're going to be offering some other tabletop RPGs, different styles, different gameplay, and all storytelling vibes.
Other D&D campaigns as well.
It's we're having a lot of fun with this.
We're planning good stuff.
I'm sorry, I just caught movement out of the corner of my eye, and one of our cats is like stalking one of the other ones. But anyway, sorry, I got distracted. They're so cute.
Yeah.
Okay, let's draw. Let's draw some cards. Let's figure out what we're going to be talking about.
Okay.
Okay. You've got yours. Let me pull.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, she looks excited.
I am very excited.
Okay. This one's an interesting one. Look at this. Oh. Oh, sorry. I had to, it took me a minute because
I also had to flip mine right side up.
I know, I was upside down.
What is that?
I was like, what is it? And then for some reason, so we have these cards and I put a piece of blue painter's tape on it and I write the topic on that so that we can reuse the cards. And I was like, why did I write on blue tape with blue ink? Because I can't read it.
Oh my gosh.
So it took me a minute to read it. And now I'm like, oh, this is going to be fun. Okay.
Sweet. I'm excited.
Cool. I'm excited too.
All right. I guess we already did our Patreon plug.
We did our
getting
Patreon
the cards
plug.
out.
If you want to follow us anywhere, you can find all of the links on our website at jessandhids.com.
Yeah. And
thank you for listening. Tell your friends about it.
Hang on.
Wait. No, what?
What's your war member?
Oh, gosh, I forgot war members.
Yeah, me too, until just now. I don't have one either. Hang on.
Oh, no. Okay.
Give me a second.
Da, da, da. Bobby Lasagna coming to you live during this commercial break.
Bobby Lasagna wants to know, what's your war member?
My war member is Bobby Lasagna. You know what? Bobby Lasagna came about last episode. I don't even remember. It was
Robert Lazar, who
we talked about in our after chat, our and another thing, our Patreon bonus content. We talked about Robert Lazar and his attachment to Area 51. Somehow it turned into Bobby Lasagna, and Bobby Lasagna is a middle-aged radio announcer.
We fleshed him out a little bit more during our tea time, which is another perk you can join if you join at the Wolfborn or Blade Dancer tiers.
Yeah, we talked about Bobby Lasagna and his career in radio and his habit of wearing Birkenstocks with white socks.
With socks.
And
come on, Bobby.
Come on, Bobby.
Yeah.
But hey, it's comfortable. It's good for his feet. He does a lot of walking.
Yeah.
When he's not on the air. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think, just the fun we've had in our bonus content and our tea time. That's my war member.
Yeah. I love Bobby Lasagna.
Bobby Lasagna lives in my brain rent free now, and expect to hear from him some more. So. What is your warm ember?
My warm ember.
You know what? Think about it a minute, because here's what I'm going to say. If this is your first episode and you're like, what the heck is a warm ember? It is something that has stemmed from a book that we have written, but is kind of sitting on our shelf because needs some more work before we put it out to hopefully get published. Warm ember is a thing that you take with you as you go through life, as you travel. It's something that brings you joy. In the most basic sense, it would be taking a bit of ember from your campfire and carrying it on your travel to start your next campfire. In our books,
that warm ember, you can keep yourself warm. You can also spread that warmth to others.
Yeah, and
you can share your warm ember to brighten their day.
And we've turned that into a greeting or a way to say farewell or just to bring joy to someone else. And we talk about our warm embers here.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing. So Bobby Lasagna has brought me joy this week, and I am spreading that joy in our bonus content. So
sweet.
Okay, Jess, warm ember.
All right, my warm ember is I'm really excited for the next cryptid campaign. But while we've taken this break, we have one of our Patreon members has been DMing another game for us and our patrons, just sort of in the interim. And it's a game called Badge Quest. It's not D&D. It is a tabletop role-playing game, but it's very, very simple and just very cute and cozy. It's slight horror elements. I think the tagline is a horror game with cookies.
Yes.
So Badge Quest is a game that like you play as They're called Blossom Scouts, and they sell cookies.
Brave Blossoms.
Brave Blossom Scouts, and they sell cookies, and weird things happen in the town, and you have to just kind of figure out what's going on and how to fix things.
It does have a really, like, the town itself makes me think it's giving Gravity Falls, like, hard.
Totally Gravity Falls vibes, yes.
So if you like that, definitely check out Badge Quest.
So that game has been giving me war members, and we don't have any coming up.
I know. I'm so sad that we're not playing this week. I was like,
I know. But
they're just fun little adventures that, run about an hour or 2 hours, and then you're done, and it's just fun.
Not only is the game my war member, but also our Patreon member, Steph, has been DMing these games for us.
Shout out, Steph.
Shout out to Steph. You're awesome. I don't even know if you're caught up on the podcast.
I know
you were listening
when
the
you
other day.
hear this, you'll get to hear our thanks again, because we've told you multiple times in our discussions and chats with you. But
Steph is a great GM, and we absolutely appreciate Steph running these games for us.
It's been a good break for us. It's been a fun thing for our patrons, and
and because of the brain break we've been able to take, we've had some really fun ideas for, like, universe building in our game and
in the books.
Yeah, in the books.
So we've got a lot. It's been good, like, running the full year, the Cryptid campaign for a full year, and it was all 100% homebrew. It was
so much fun, but it was
exhausting.
It took up a lot of our brain space.
Yeah, but it was, like, I wouldn't change a thing. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
And I think everybody really enjoyed it. Yeah, so having this little month off between has been awesome, and Steph kind of stepped up and
to provide some games for our patrons while we weren't. So that's a wonderful.
I'm gonna share your war member there.
Yeah.
With Steph. So
yeah. Okay. If you, dear listener, have a war member that you would like to share with us, you can
let us know.
There are lots of ways you can do it.
To jessandhids@gmail.com.
You can join our Facebook group, which is free to join. Inside the Raveniverse is what it's called. Every week we actually have a war members post on Sundays. Mm-hmm. Look for that and drop your war member there. Or you can comment when you see a social media post. It could be any post ever. Just be like, hey, war member for the day.
Yeah.
And share with us, because we want to hear your war members.
Spread joy, spread love, spread goodness, spread warmth.
Yeah.
I think that's all I have to say.
Yeah.
I need to go research my topic, and we need to go do our have and another thing.
Yeah, we have some murder to talk about.
I know, we're in dark little bonus content.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you.
We will talk to you next time.
Bye.
Bye.